It's Saturday and it's noise from the boys. No live at the Solly tonight, obviously, because Liverpool are away at Sunderland tomorrow. So we all had work commitments yesterday, so we've took up the live at the Solly slot. So we'll get stuck right in straight away. Nitpick at the Southampton game last week. Start with Colin. Colin, thoughts? Terrible display, by the way.
It was, Jock, from first minute to the 90th minute. There was not a lot we could take out of the game versus Southampton. They were hungry, they looked far fitter, they were stronger in 50-50s. You know, what Southampton were doing to us was what I expect Liverpool to be doing to other sides, and we got our just desserts in the end. We come away with it was an easy win for Southampton in the end, and a well-earned 3 points. And they're a good little side. I think they'll do well this season. And not a lot really we can, as I said, not a lot to take from the game. It's a shame really, because we were top of the league. 3 more points, we just consolidated top of the league, at home tie against Southampton. You think, there's been a little bit more art and passion put into it, but, it just weren't.
Disappointing, weren't it, so?
Yeah, very disappointing. Well, we mentioned on the Friday, didn't we, about Wanyama and the other fella in the middle. But he's very clever, their manager, because he got on the team that was 4 centre-halves. We play out through the full-backs. He's just pushed onto us, and you could just see it after 5 minutes. There's nothing happening there's not going to be nothing happening for us today. That Wanyama, he's only 20, he was walking over Gerrard. Gerrard gave up with half an hour to go. Just very, very disappointed me at the end of that game.
Chris?
Yeah, said after the game last week in Solly, we were all shocked, we were all disappointed, but the 4 centre-halves coming in seemed to unsettle the team and the pattern of play. And I think what it is with Aga and Torre starting the season, they started off well with Enrique and Johnson. Now, that's been broken up, so it's unsettled the team, and 4 centre-halves, which we've gone on about, and it's just rocked the defence, and it's unsettled the defence, and I think that's where it stemmed from. But all in all, it was a terrible performance from all the team, and credit to Southampton because I thought they played really well.
Just shows you though, we haven't really picked up on this. The amount of injuries we've had that unsettled our team, the balance of the team, do you know what I mean? We've lost big hitters. Johnson, like he said, not just losing, chopping fellas around, and fellas who aren't injured, like he said, Torre's gone full back, and then, do you know what I mean? The first 3 games, it was more or less the same team, same again. Now with like the Coutinho fella, there's just nothing happening in the middle anymore, is there, with England? 20-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid, and runs the team.
I think we touched on it before we played Stoke. We were all a little bit worried how far and how good our squad would go once we started getting injuries and suspensions and stuff. And it's apparent now it's not good enough, and it's not strong enough. I mean, we're good 1 to 12, 1 to 13. We start going beyond that, and we're struggling to compete, I think.
Yeah, but I still want to keep it positive. We started off well. Alright, we've lost a couple of games on the bounce now, but teams are going to lose a lot of games this season. So I just think stick around the top 4. We don't want to be top. You're not going to be top of the league all season, are we? So stick around the top 4. Try and get a win tomorrow against Southampton. Sunderland. And just keep on plugging away. But it is, as Colin said there, the lack in depth of the team is apparent. So only time will tell, won't it, when we get Coutinho back and so on.
Have we been worked out? Do you know what I mean? You've got to give credit to the managers. They're clever, aren't they? Just worked us out, I think, last week. Look at the change in a week. We're the only team in the league who hasn't scored in the second division, in the second half.
Yeah, but we've been playing okay, so we played.
Yeah, haven't we played 3 good halves, I think, and that game the other night was about the best game we've played.
Swansea, first half against Swansea.
That's what I mean, we played 3 halves, I think, all season. The rest of them, we've been crap.
Yeah.
The last week's game against Southampton, it was like every second half we've played all season, including the Notts County game. It was
the full game.
Very sterile, weren't it?
The full game was crap.
Game of 2 halves. We'll come up to the United game later. Colin?
What I can't understand, Jock, I know Brendan's got this way of playing his football. Once Mignolet gets the ball in his hands, he gets the 2 centre-halves to split to the corner of the 18-yard box, and then he rolls it out to Lucas. We've done it about 4 times against Southampton last week, and we lost the ball every single time. one time, I think it was the third time they'd done it, Mignolet was taking on the two centre-forwards, running at him with the ball at his feet. There's a time and place for football. Brendan, I know he's set, you can see this fella's set in his ways, Rodgers. But surely to Christ, what happens is they fight about with the ball on the edge of the box, and then Mignolet ends up launching it 80 yards anyway. Why don't you just take the pressure off ourselves and get rid of it instead of bringing undue? You let a team like gives a team like Southampton a little sniff that they might be in the game, and they'll take it. And then they'd put fair play to Southampton. They did take it. You know what I mean? They took the chance well.
That aside, he still has a great game, Mignolet, even though it was a defeat.
He did have a great. He had a very good game, Jock. I mean, the quadruple save was world class on its own merits. But I just think we're bringing undue pressure that we don't need onto our centre-halves, full-backs and the goalie by fannying about with it on goal kicks and, just get the ball up the pitch.
Yeah. Very shaky at the back, isn't it, when they're doing that? Sony?
Forgotten.
You had something to say, didn't you? But because I put it in, you become very...
There's a time when to launch it and a time when to pass it, isn't he? And we were doing it wrong against Southampton, I thought, and he's very lackadaisy. He's very delayed with his footwork, wasn't he? He thought he had all day and he was just on top of him. You know what I mean? It was like you could see it, like he's coming, man on, and the whole ground was shouting man on about 9 times, and he was still like floating him up to the wing out of play. Because, you know what I mean? The save, you know what I mean? You can't question his saving abilities and all that, like shot stopping. But his footwork for a pro goalie, it's just...
Yeah, but he's not used to that, is he? He hasn't come from Southampton, and he's not used to this with the way Rodgers. Sunderland, I keep saying Southampton. He's come from Sunderland, but his shot stopping and everything else of the game is brilliant. I think he's been brilliant this season. It's just his footwork and this decision making.
But it's not just this problem. It's a defence problem as well. I sort of disagreed with Colin when he started there about rolling it out to his defenders, because I also get frustrated when he gets the ball in his hands and kicks it right up the pitch, and almost 9 times out of 10 we give them possession. We're not a big team up front. You know what I mean? We give them possession every time.
Yeah, well, I heard last season Brendan saying, who was it who gave the ball away? Was it Skirtle, the back pass? And he said, I'll let them do that 9 times out of 10. He said, I want them to pass even if there's mistakes. They're never going to change. It's not like, like we're shouting, there's a time when to kick it. Brendan persists in that passing thing, don't he? At the back, he persists in it.
Well, that's taken back to what you just said of teams work us out, so, and it's easy to work out. You just get your full-backs to push up on our midfielders, get the midfielders then push up onto our full-backs. And we're playing our football in our 18-yard box then for the next 10 minutes.
There's no plan B. There's no plan B, is there?
It's hard for us to get the ball back off the team as well. When we've got it in possession, we're okay. But it's hard to get it back.
Going back to what we spoke about over the last few weeks, especially with these injuries and just before the window closed, we talked about our strength on the bench, and we've got none. And Sterling come off the bench there and missed. I won't call it an absolute sitter, but he's very frustrating, isn't he? And personally, I'd cash in on him in January. What do you think, so?
I think he's a baby in a man's game. You don't even have to be big. You just have to be clever to muscle him out of a game. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to be no big fella. And he's persistently running into brick walls. Do you know what I mean? He'll run till he's like faced up with the fella, and then he'll try and release it, and it's giving no options to the fella he's releasing it to. He's got something about him. Do you know what I mean? But I think his size wise, he's never going to be bigger than what he is. And I seen him in town the other day in Gap buying baby clothes for himself.
But getting back to where he's running into brick walls, I don't think he's ever going to change that as a footballer. I don't think maturity changes that. That's just your style, you know what I mean?
It can change because they can direct him where his runs go, do you know what I mean? You can teach him, you coach him where to go and direct him into things like danger areas and when not to do it. And like also, he's trying to put the graft in getting back, so you can take your hat off to him for that, you know what I mean? He does get his graft. But he gives some stupid fouls away in dangerous areas for us, do you know what I mean?
I'd cash in on him in January if he had a bit of a place on his head.
I think he's been found out this season. He had to come in last season because of the injuries, and he done all right, and he was brilliant for the reserves. Why not loan him out in January to a championship team and bring him back down? Bring him back down to earth. He's got his contract and he's got a bit Hollywood, hasn't he? So bring him back down to earth, down to the championship and let him learn his trade.
I'm going to buck the trend and I'm going to say keep him, persist with him. The kid's obviously talented. He's a young lad, as Tony's just said there. You can coach kids. You can't coach kids completely, but you can give them ideas on when to release the ball, how to attack space, when to drop back, when to go, when not to go. So, and we've just said there, he's only a baby, he's 18, he's still in nappies, as Tony's just said. So let's give him a little bit of room to move. We've got players there who are senior pros who aren't even doing it, you know what I mean? And we're picking on kids who are 18. I think my personal opinion is keep him and persist with him for the next couple of years.
I feel like a little bit of a bully here. He's all picking on me. I'll sack you all. I'll sack you all. I've got plenty to fill your shoes, Go on, so.
Hey, you better watch your back, actually, if you're out bullying him, because you've got a criminal record the length of my arm, do you know what I mean?
So, anyway, so this is the Southampton game. We were none too pleased about that, but let's hope it was a blip and, Suarez is back tomorrow.
I don't think it was a blip, and that's the thing what we're saying. I think there's something inbred in this at the minute, yeah. But I like the way Brendan at the end of every game he's saying, I know what's wrong. What he's telling us, what we're seeing. That's what you like, isn't it? He's saying, I'm not happy with this the second half things, and like them 2 goals we've conceded 2 from corners there, and like I'm not being funny. I see kids there on the under-10s on the top of the pitch that would defend. That goal against the Manx was just... You should dock him at week's wages for that and just leg him in front. You know when he put the tellies out at Melwood? Just leg him. Just say, look, what's going on?
Why didn't he start
Be answerable for what you've done wrong.
Who are you talking about?
What about Enrique? That was disgusting. Yeah, and then he's blaming, pointing fingers.
Yeah, but why didn't he start Enrique against Southampton?
Ask Brendan.
Gives his number.
One thing we haven't touched on is his team selection for Southampton, the 4 centre-halves, which I thought was quite bizarre. I know he come out in the press conference after it and said he was trying to save Enrique from getting like another niggling injury and keeping him for Wednesday night. But I mean, it was square pegs and round holes, the 4 centre-halves. If Enrique's fit enough to be on the bench, he's fit enough to start as well.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to disagree with you again a bit because I think with Suarez in the team, there's a whole different shape to our squad and the attitude going forward as well. So I think if Suarez would have been playing in them games, there'd be a bit more clout. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be so sterile. But anyway, we'll come up to him in a minute. Tony?
Graham versus Jay show here with all the disagreements, isn't it?
We're all unhappy again, aren't we? Doom and gloom.
But anyway, we'll finish on the Southampton game. We didn't really want to talk about it for long, but we spoke 12 minutes about it. So the next day, there was the Anne Williams charity game up at Walton Hall Park at Liverpool County FA grounds, which is a fine ground, by the way. And the Norgies, the Norwegian Wolves have brought out a huge following across. Obviously, they bring a huge following over anyway, but these all turned out for this game because it was the Norwegian Wolves versus the Scouse Reds. And they trained really hard for it as well, the Norwegians. They were out till 3 Sunday morning training and all round town, and they ended up in the Mayflower. And what was the score, Col?
I got told to stop counting at 8. I think it ended up about 13-0. Mr. Caveney made a guest appearance for the last 30 seconds as well.
For the Norwegians?
For Team Norway, yeah. I don't think he's going to talk about the appearance he made. It wasn't a good sight, to be honest. Me and Tony are over the hill. It wasn't a good sight when he took the shirt off.
But it was all good fun, and the Norwegians, they got their ass smacked and sent away, and because they'd won it a couple of times. They'd actually trashed the Scouse Reds a couple of times in the last 4 years, so it was a surprise to see them. But I do suspect because they've been out on the ale all night.
Well, I seen Jay Mullins in work the other day, and we were on about some of the raffle things they had. They had like Rushie's 84 shirt, someone had donated, Joel Devine had donated, that went for $6.50, and like Fowler's tops were all there, and what's the Everton?
Who donated Fowler's tops?
Fowler. Oh no, at Carb Scarf, they donated the 4 of them or something. But they had,
and who got them signed?
Yeah, I got them signed by Bernard, didn't I? So, and then they had like the gloves, the gloves. they got the gloves. What's his name? The Smith brothers, 104 years. That like 3 brothers have held them belts. So that like they went. They had some of the presents were cracking on. But I seen him the other day, and he said they still haven't got bits and bobs in, and added up, and like the Norwegian supporters threw a good wedge in as well. Just like a check. So he said the last count he were on $7 grand something. Do you know what I mean? It was still like they done very well with it, Chris. Yeah, they done very well.
And Swady as well, who spent a few quid, 7.5 ton on shirts.
Yeah, well, there was a funny thing, weren't there, when we were raffling the shirts off. They had Carragher's his last shirt. It was all embroidered, wasn't it, with his first game, his last game, his most important games and all this. So we said, it's a one-off shirt, 737 on the back. So he went, guess that, 200, 250, it's bid and goes up 300 quid. Yeah, you can have that. Next minute, Kevin Morland pulled another one out. Phil Belgium pulled another one out. Went, oh no, there's another one, it's second to last shirt. Swady come belting up and went, I want it for 150.
But he spent 7.5 ton, so it all went to a good cause, didn't it? And thanks for everyone who donated stuff there. And also, we'll give the Smith brothers a mention, because 3 of them have become, is it British and Commonwealth champions, which is British, yeah. And then the youngest one, Callum, has got the English. So on them boxing clubs, there was not only 3 brothers who's held at the same time, but 3 brothers have never held it, never mind at the same time.
Last time was 104 years ago, so it's never going to happen again. And they said, Paul Smith's going to he's going to make that bait vacant. He's going to go in and crack it or something else. So the youngest one's going to grab that. The way he's carrying on, he's brilliant, isn't he? He's going to grab that. So they're all going to hold it at one time or another. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing that's never been done.
Keeping that now, or has he got to defend it one more time? He's kept it, yeah. He's kept it.
A big mention to Mick out of that scarf and badge as well, because he saturated the social media sites with his pictures of the Smith brothers with his t-shirts on. So well done, Mick. You're doing a good job there, mate.
That Paul Smith seems to never have that shirt off. Every time I see him, he's got it on. Somebody's been bin bagged and he's got no other club.
Take me out after them now. Great achievements for, Oh,
it's brilliant. We're all proud of them. And they're proud of where they're from as well, aren't they? From Kirkdale.
Yeah. As someone who's laced up himself in the past. I have. I'm just telling you what I've done. All right, Dan, I never. I went to Tate about 3 times when I was a kid.
I used to box in the Rotunda, and the late Jimmy Albo called me into the office one day after the sparring session. Said, listen, jockey. I said, yeah. I thought he was going to say, you've got to fight Tuesday, get your weight down or something. And he said, yeah, and he goes, that footy. Because goes that boxing.
Yeah, well, this is another question. And about the 3 brothers, the 3 Smith brothers hold the belt. There's another question about the boxing question. Is 2 Liverpool brothers that have boxed every weight. And it was the Coyne brothers on Stanley Road.
So we'll quickly move on. The Ann Williams Day. It was a great day. How much was raised?
He's saying the other day he had 7, but there was still bits to come in as well, so that's a great figure, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we went back to the taxi club there, and there was a few bands on there as well, the Cheap Thrills, an up-and-coming band who have won Sound City, and there was 2 young kids on, Joe Maddox, who was quite good, and Dominic Dunn, who was also very good, and Dominic Dunn's new song and video was out this week. It's called Keep Them Tight, and you can hear that on Anfield FM. It's on the playlist on Anfield FM, and it's really good. I've listened to it. It's also on YouTube, so Google that on YouTube if you know what I mean. And it's a brilliant song. And he sung a song what he wrote that morning about Sam Williams, and you could hear a pin drop in there. Couldn't you? It was brilliant.
On Facebook as well, if you want to go and have a look. That's been posted on Facebook as well.
Well, I've told him to send me an MP3 so I can put it up on our radio station, and he's sorting that. But also, they were complaining the 3 young bands, the 3 young artists who were there. They were complaining that the promoters in Liverpool seem to favour like out of town bands from Cheshire and all that. When they're promoting bands. So us at Anfield FM are open to put on maybe once a month a night for local bands to air the talent. So that we'll keep you updated on that. So that was the Ann Williams. Anything else more to say on that?
Just it was a great night, and when we get our heads together, you know what we're about.
Yeah. The sun was shining. It was nice. It was a nice day there, wasn't it?
The compare was out of this world, I believe.
Oh yeah, and Tony compared it.
So, oh, I'd just like to mention the Anne Williams Golf Day. That was in July as well. You brought a good point up, Jock, over a cup of tea last week. It might be worth like marrying the two of them together and having the Anne Williams weekend. You know, having a really good weekend of it. So it's something that's in the pipeline. And stay tuned to Anfield FM.
They'll only get bigger and bigger, I think, won't it? After what this is the one they done the other day was bang on, wasn't it? So the interest in it now, you've seen it all over Facebook and that social media. It's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so I was just going to move on to the Man United game, but while we're on the subject of Anne Williams and Hillsborough, midweek, a girl in Tesco's in Allerton.
Yes.
Well, she didn't refuse to sell a copy of The Sun, but she picked it up as though it was Maggie May's knickers when she was serving. I think he was an Evertonian, but we're not going to tarnish Evertonians with that title of being Sundays as just this individual. And he went away, and I'm not sure if he complained via Twitter. Yeah, he complained about Tesco
and the girl's attitude towards him on the till. What you just mentioned, she picked it up, which it is the snotty face rag that it is. She picked it up the way it was. You know, she shouted to her friends on the next aisle, "This, you know, we shouldn't be selling this rubbish."
And has the girl been sacked for it?
No.
Well. That's a bit of a grey area because Tesco's are either denying or confirming that she's been disciplined. She hasn't been sacked, but they're not confirming or denying whether she's been disciplined, which to me sounds like there has been some kind of discipline going on.
Joe Anderson actually got involved with it and said he'd sit round the table and mediate any talks because he said she's speaking for me. As a person who comes from Merseyside, she's speaking on my behalf, the way we treat that paper. So, you know, well done to the girl. As Tony says on Facebook, if she wants to come up to Solly, we'll all buy her a drink and take her to the match for nothing.
A big positive what come out of it for me was that if this girl has turned round and done that, which obviously she has, it must have been out of an extraordinary situation. So I doubt there's lots of people coming in buying The Sun all day, or she would have been like that all the time. You know what I mean? So it might have been out of the ordinary situation. So that's a good point. So less people are buying The Sun. And I hope you're all like us out there. If you ever do go into any shops and The Sun is going to be there, just cover it up with a copy of the Daily Mirror or a couple of copies of the Daily Mirror, so people of little intellect and tempted to buy it. And another thing, Tony, which you're like, someone informed me that on the Tesco's on Park Road, they don't sell The Sun.
Don't sell The Sun, no, that's right there.
Well.
By the bakery, is it on the Park Road?
No, the Tesco's at the top here. But what I'm saying is, if the Tesco, I always thought they're in some kind of contract with the distributors who sell the Mail, the Star, that you'd have to take The Sun. But if it's just a choice thing, I think it's a disgrace that any newsagents in the bill selling it.
One of the Ben's at the top, Sammy's dad, he never used to sell it. We used to he just knocked it on the head right away anyway. But this fella now, he sells two. And I've been trying to buy them, but it's two old tabbies who like the betting in it or something. I've seen them, you know what I mean? They're like 80 odd years of age. So.
Well, someone mentioned that on Facebook today, said that the mum and dad buy it in the 90s, but they buy it for the bingo.
Yeah, but these buy it for the betting. Apparently they love the betting. And I've said to them, I'll go and get a pay. You know what I mean? I'll get you a paper. I'll pay for your paper if it's another paper by that. And he went, no, I've stuck with that for years. That's the one I like.
I think that's what it is, though, Tony. A lot of people used to buy The Sun before, like 89 and everything else. And it's like we've always bought the Daily Mirror. I never bought The Sun before even what they wrote anyway. But I think what it is, it's the older generation. But I don't know, I see fellas still buying it now, even in work. And the Scousers.
The Scousers?
Yeah. Yeah,
listen, there's loads of toilet paper out there. Go and buy Charmin. That's the best toilet paper you can get.
I don't know.
Well, I think it's a disgrace. Any Scouser buying The Sun, and I'll always tell them, unless they're bigger than me. But no, but all seriousness, if it's a situation where newsagents aren't contracted to sell it, I don't see why there should be any newsagents in the Old Merseyside selling it. I go out to Manchester and see Liverpool fans in Manchester do business with. They've got a copy of The Sun on the on the desk.
Fellas read it in our work, sitting there blatantly. All you can do is go up and go, "What are you doing, lad?" You know what I mean? Have a bit of respect. Just go and read something else. You know, just give a little word in the end. They just look at you like, nothing to do with me, that.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. I've lent it off him.
Oh, lucky, yeah.
I think people who buy it, as soon as I look at them, I think they're of little intellect. But anyway, yeah, we'll move on anyway. We played Man United on Wednesday night. Did you go, Carl? Or did you go? We made our way up on the coach. Oh, Tony, you never went, did you?
No, we had a bit of an issue in work.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You don't want to talk about, but you just told us why you never went.
You brought it up.
You should have just said, no, I never went. I
should have brought it up and like, make I don't go to the game or something. I know what you're at.
So, anyway, we got beat, so he didn't miss much. But yeah, we went up on the coach there, and it would have been a great sip if we would have won. But anyway, who's going to start us off on the Man United game? Colin?
I thought we played well, Jock.
Hang on, Tony's got his hands up in the air then, he said he didn't want to talk about it.
I thought we played well. We got beat, but it was way and above our best performance we'd put together for 90 minutes all season. Big bonus, Suarez coming back, although he looked like he was carrying a bit of timber. He just couldn't get the ball out of his feet quick enough, but he's not far off, Suarez. Major disappointments for me were Lucas and Gerrard in midfield, getting bossed by Giggs and Phil Jones for large parts of the game. But a team performance, individual performance was still a bit low. Enrique was, poor for the goal. But as a team, we played the best we'd played all season. But we're still, there's still things we can improve on greatly, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm more than happy the way we played against United. It was a well better performance than it was against Southampton. There was more passion in there, and it was like they did get a kick up the arse after that Southampton game. And they played well, and they were unlucky not to score on a couple of occasions. It was a cup game, anything can happen against Man United, can't it? And anything can happen in the cup against anyone, but it was always going to go either way against United. But Suarez looked good, and I only seen it on the telly when I got home. The free kick off Suarez come off Jones's head. I was just behind the goal, yeah. He just got his head onto it. And the gear was going, he wasn't even going in the top corner, he was going side into the bottom corner. So if that didn't come off Jones's head, it was flying in the top corner. And if we would have got that equaliser, then we were going on to win that game because their defence was all over the place. And I don't know, I thought we played well against United, and it was just a pity we lost.
The best move of the night, what we'd put together, was one where Jordan Henderson got it just on the corner of the 18-yard box. He tried to place it into the far corner, and he just dragged it wide. I mean, if that was a winning, and it's all ifs and buts. But what I'd like to say, we weren't overawed by United. Only in certain little aspects, of course, like midfield one-on-ones we were coming and stuff. But as a team, there is nothing to choose between Liverpool and United. I don't think so. It just shows you how far we have come. We just need to step it up that little bit more. We're on the fringes. Attitude change completely there. As Tully's just said, we looked hungry. We looked, farm. We looked like we wanted to go and win the match. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to hit them on counter attacks. Because at the moment, based on what we've seen so far this season, I don't know what type of side we are. Are we a counter attacking side, or are we an all-out attacking side? I think we need to nail that one down. Brendan needs to choose which way we're going with it. You know what I mean? And pick the team accordingly.
You heard it weren't United's full team. You heard it was like their reserve team, but it weren't. They had Rooney and the back four was Small and Johnny Evans and all that. I thought he played better than he did against City. I thought he was atrocious against City, and it's just papering over the cracks with United. I think as Colin just said,
nothing between us.
No. I don't think they
considering they're the champions. There is nothing between us at the moment.
I think they're on a slippery slope.
The difference is they're still clinging on to this winning mentality that they've gained over the years, being champions consistently. We've got to start getting that mentality. We've got to start grinding results. We were top of the league before going into Southampton. I'm not going to harp on, and I'm not going to drag us into the depths of despair. But we just need to change. Our mentality has to change, and it has to change quickly. We lost against Southampton. We lost against Man United Wednesday. We're going into Sunderland tomorrow. These are bottom of the league. The way I'm expecting the game to pan out is that we're going to go straight for the throat. We're going to win 3 or 4-0. But that's what my heart's telling me. My head's telling me completely different. It's going to happen tomorrow. So, let's fingers crossed we can pull the victory off tomorrow.
Well, I wasn't there, was I? But listening to it, it seemed like them Man U games from years ago. Even 20 years ago when we were winning leagues, we still used to go there and play them out and get beat. You know what I mean? Like he said, they have that mentality, but I don't think it was their fault anyway. So let's not start getting bacon bones about it. You can pick it on like that, can't you?
I remember my mate from work, and it was the first time he'd been to Old Trafford, and he was gutted. But you used to coming out of Old Trafford a bit. Getting beat, aren't you? Not many times we've won there.
It's just not scoring when we're on top. It's that again, innit? You know what I mean? Not punishing teams when we're on top. The only thing I really seen when I come home, was that diving header by Moses. Oh, that's shit.
He hit it too pure. Do you know if it hit it come at any side of his head, it was going in, but he just hit it bang on the floor.
I mean, there's 3 chances we've spoke of there. The free kick from Suarez, Moses diving header, Jordan Henderson from the corner of the box. I mean, just shows you, we've got 3 clear cut chances there. On a better day, all 3 of them as a went in. We'd have been sitting there, you know, wondering, are we going to Wembley? We're obviously not now, but I mean, it just shows you thin margins, fine lines and thin margins between winning and
at the end, Torre and Sturridge.
You could see from the team, the selection, ours was, we wanted to go all the way in it. I don't think they really did with their selection. And that's us failed at the first hurdle, isn't it?
Well, these is at the ends, because as Sully said before, I don't want to steal his tons of here, but David Moyes, the way he celebrates at the end of that match, you could see that it was relief for that fella. Because exactly, of course it did. But not just that though.
In a public place.
Not just that though. It's, I mean, he's beaten Liverpool there in a cup tie at Old Trafford. You know, he's probably just got himself another grace for 18 months there. The pressure's off slightly, so to speak. Big game against West Brom today, but he's given himself a bit of room to move, and the relief that was there to see.
I'd disagree with the 18 months, but he's given himself a bit of a...
It cheered me up. It cheered me up looking at him running off the pitch like that. I just thought it was embarrassing, and I mean, even United fans would look at that and think, well, all right, he beat us in the cup, and it was like, what was his name, Bobby Stoko?
Yeah, for Sunderland.
1973, made 17th.
It was horrible, the sound of him on the radio running up that line. Like, it was horrible hearing him running up the line.
So I guess who I was sitting next to in the match?
Oh, thousands.
No, what's his name? It's over.
Was he? Yeah? No way, was it?
Yeah, it's over.
He always 10 him on.
He hasn't aged well. He hasn't aged. I hope he's not listening, but he hasn't aged well. Where's now? So he went, is that over next to us? And I went, no. Then I looked at him again and went, you know what it is, you know? For those who don't know what Dover is, he was actually from Dover and used to follow Liverpool everywhere. And he used to play, he was like a bit punkish, a bit like Lamal. He was a bit like Lamal on crack. Pat Sharp. He had like a big blonde mullet back in the 80s, and he was a bit of an hooligan, and he wore a pair of winkle pickers and a big long Mach. But he was actually a pop star in Germany. Even though he's English, he had a big following in Germany, and he used to turn up at every match, and he was game. I used to see him, and actually he was game. He always had the beard on, he'd charm as well. He was a proper he was a proper rock star, wasn't he? So we said to him, you're still gigging? He went, yeah. He said, I can only get to the midweek games because I'm gigging on a Saturday. So, but he didn't look. He was no One Direction.
He looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme off that Labatt's advert, only, you know what I mean, in the snow. He's got that rig out, hasn't he?
So he was sitting next to us.
Close up with him, yeah.
Yeah, the rock and roll lifestyle's close up. He's got a bigger derby than I used to have. But anyway, so yeah, that was Man United. We'll get that out the way and we'll put that into the history and we'll forget all about that. We'll move on to Sunderland. Tomorrow, Sunderland, what did you say? The bottom of the league, are they?
Not off the top of my head, Jock, I think they're still rock bottom of the league, and you know, we need to be going there tomorrow. Attacking side, attacking philosophy, attacking mentality, straight at them. They've got no manager, do you know what I mean? Let's just get out there and beat them, put it to bed early.
These are the worst games though, aren't they?
Exactly, we couldn't have met this side at a worse time. Change of management, they've got a kid in now, Kevin Ball, who used to play for Sunderland. He's a yard dog of a centre midfielder, used to go around kicking people. So you know the mentality he's going to send out tomorrow. He's going to say, look, get these up the pitch. If they start playing it around at the back, get in the faces. We've got to get the ball early, move the ball around early, couple of early goals, and just get home tomorrow with 3 points.
That's right. The manager's gone, and it's happened to us a lot of times, hasn't it? And you know, but the thing is, they've got no strikers. Barini's playing for them, but he can't play against us, obviously.
Can't he know that's part of his
No, and the other striker is he's out for 6 weeks now. What's his name? Fletcher, I'm not too sure. But
I'd wish Barini was playing against
got no strikers, but I think they've got the beach ball on the bench, so I don't know whether he might be coming on, so maybe.
That's the good thing about that stipulation in Barini's team contract when he signed for them on there, that he can't play against us, because he had one written for us that he couldn't play for us.
Well, it's Sunderland tomorrow. Suarez, will he start?
I'm gonna, definitely got him, Annie. Like, I'm going. Are we doing our predictions, or are we still talking about?
No, we're still talking about. But getting back to Suarez and getting back to the United game the other night. What I liked about his demeanour the other night, you can tell that he's still going to be all guns firing. You can tell he's not like but he's not like a Torres, and even a Gerrard's head can drop. His head won't drop, and he'll absorb all the hate around each ground.
Jock, Suarez will come on the pitch and play his heart out every game because he's that type of player. Rooney and Suarez spat the tummy out in the summer, you know what I mean? They wanted moves, but the two of them are like street players. Rooney's a street player, Suarez is a street player, and the both of them go onto the pitch wanting to play and wanting to win. So Suarez will go on that pitch week in, week out and wanting to play football and wanting to play for us until he leaves, you know. So I think Suarez will score tomorrow, actually.
I'm still not happy about it. Carry on anyway. So, but if he, like you say, if he scores, you'll be over the moon. But I think he will score tomorrow myself. But he's the difference, innit? You know what I mean? It's the difference from what I'm saying when we are on top and we don't capitalise. He's the difference through capitalising on what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? So, touch wood, we have a good first half. We're coming in 1 or 2 up because of him, whereas we were coming in 0-0s and 1-0. You know what I mean? The second goal's everything again, innit? But
personally, me, where you're saying you're not happy about the carry-on out of him during the summer, and yet it wasn't nice and all that, but you've got to dilute that a bit with the press. You can't believe everything you've heard. All these interviews he was giving out in Uruguay. Did you see his lips move to any of them?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I seen him doing interviews in Uruguay. That's what I'm going off.
He was, actually.
Yeah, I seen him.
Oh.
Well, no, you're asking, I did. I seen him saying it. It wasn't like, and I don't go off what people say in the press. You know what we like about the press. Don't listen to nothing they say.
It was always reported. I always seen it was reported to the Uruguayan press, and I think I seen one of the very first interviews on YouTube, which translated, by the way.
A lot of it.
And you know them Uruguayans can lose the effect in translation.
You're a guy, you. Right. What a lot of it was is agents.
Shit stirring.
Yeah, I know that, but like
the agent's going to get 10%.
His agent acts upon what he wants to do. Do you know what I mean? Let's have it right. He acts upon what he wants to do. He doesn't just say, "Listen, let's get off." Do you know what I mean?
These are only young. These are only young fellas, and they're not always intelligent young fellas, and they can be easily manipulated as well.
He ends off. He wanted to leave. Ends off. So there's no, you know that. There's make no bones about it. And the way he went about it, I didn't like the way he was questioning us. That's what I don't like. We didn't stick by him and all that. Not just us as teammates.
But you still love him?
No, I'm not. He's still on thin ice, and I mean, I've done all that with Torres, fucking dedicating goals to the 96. He had us up the wall there, then, do you know what I mean? We're falling for it again.
Modern football, so
putting his attitudes and all the stuff aside for a minute, I never had any qualms how Suarez had approached this season. I knew he'd put his heart and soul in it. We all know what he is. The background will always be there and until he actually leaves. But it was interesting to see Ian here come out on telly saying they're actually going to sit down with him in a couple of weeks and try and renegotiate another 4-year contract. Like a double your money contract. I mean, where do we all stand on now? Do we want him to stay? Do we want him to go? Personally, if they can get him to another 4-year contract, make you sign, nail him to the floor.
I never ever turned against him. You can listen to all these podcasts on Anfield FM. I never ever turned against because I don't know. You didn't yourself. I can go back three podcasts when you did.
Yeah.
Chris,
Opinions, you can change your mind, you know, Jock.
Oh,
I did. I didn't like it.
Oh no, I wasn't happy with the situation, but Gerrard, he was going out the door as well. There was no real difference.
Yeah, and he's still on thin ice. You still don't look at him in the same way as when he went before he wanted to go to Chelsea. You know,
I do.
I don't. I know in the back of his head he wanted to leave us.
You just said yourself, Jock, these foreigners, they're a little bit different in mentality.
You can't say foreigners.
Well, these people who come from foreign lands, then these people who don't come from England and play for our club, they've got a different mentality than us. I'm not interested in Suarez's brain and how it works, and all I want is him playing football in a red shirt. And if we can get that for another 4 years and come from where we were 3 months ago on the verge of the whole club falling apart if he left, I mean, it'd be an absolute amazing turnaround if we can nail him down for 4 more years. Regardless of whether we like him or we loathe him, it's irrelevant. He plays for Liverpool Football Club. He's not coming home to cook me tea.
Well, that all depends on 4th place, though. We don't get 4th place. He won't stay. He won't stay.
Even MVQ to cook, you won't say, man.
As Colin just said, how his brain works. I don't think Suarez knows how his brain works, but he's a genius, and you know, geniuses are always a bit crazy and a bit mad. And I think what it does boil down to at the end of the day is money. And he wants to go...
Not ambition.
Ambition, but he does want the money as well. And his agent wanted the money. So I think, really, he will sign a new contract. And I think it's going to be a hefty contract. Definitely. It's got to be. If Liverpool are ambitious enough to keep these players, they're going to have to give the 250 grand a week, 200 grand a week for a player like of his quality. One of the best players.
Do you think some of his wages, say it's 200 grand a week? Do you think they'd be dragging back 80 grand a week worldwide on shirts?
Yeah, because everyone went out and bought Coutinho shirt. Every kid you see on the street's got Coutinho on a shirt. They lost out on a lot of money on the Suarez shirts there. You know.
We just talk about what you're saying. Every kid you see on the streets got a Coutinho shirt. I was in China a couple of months back, and I was supposed to bring a Liverpool shirt. So listen to me. I was supposed to bring a Liverpool shirt over to a customer who would do business with, a supplier who would do business with, and I forgot the shirt. So I went out onto the streets of Guangzhou. Now Guangzhou is a place where Liverpool have played. That's the city in China they chose to play. It's like the capital of southern China. And I went out on the streets to the shopping malls to buy a Liverpool shirt. Could not buy one. I went round. I don't know how many shopping malls I went to. I couldn't buy. I walked past Man United shirts, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barca, Real Madrid, the Milans. Could not buy a Liverpool shirt. Took me 4 hours. Went to the New Balance shop, who owns Warrior. They never even heard of a Liverpool. They didn't know what a Liverpool shirt. Why would we sell it? In the end, I found it in a little. In another New Balance concession in a department store, but it took me 4 hours.
Right, look.
Anyway, we're finished now. Predictions. Predictions. We had a guest coming, but I don't think he's made it. Your prediction for Monaco?
My prediction, Jock, isn't based on football tomorrow, but I'm going to do one that's based on around the events of this week. I think it's important that everyone knows.
Look me off there.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Sorry, come on, Carl. Sorry, Tony's totally messed this show up.
I'll give you my prediction tomorrow. I'll go with 2-0 Liverpool, and I'll go with Suarez to score the 2 of them.
No Sturridge? He's looked after you, Sturridge, this season.
Yeah, he's put a few quid in my pocket, but now I'll go with Suarez. I think he'll have a couple tomorrow.
Mine are going to, as I said, the events of this week. Man United on Wednesday. It was one of the moves that we spoke about earlier. Jordan Henderson could have scored there in the second half to make it 1-1. So I'm going to go on anytime goal scorer tomorrow, and it's Jordan Henderson, and you should get about 5 or 6 to 1 for him tomorrow to score any time in the 90 minutes.
I'll go for 3-0 against Sunderland tomorrow, and I'll start with Sturridge. Sturridge just scored the first goal, and I think Suarez will get one as well, and maybe even as you say, Henderson going back up there. So that's the end of the show. Thanks for joining us. Oh, hang on. Tony, who's that at the top? Hang on, our special guest has just turned up. He's supposed to be here.
Up the Delta cab.
He should have been here at the beginning. Nelson, you're late. Nelson, sit down, mate. I didn't even realise you support Liverpool.
Yeah, my friend, yes, I followed Liverpool from Robben Island, 27 years. I was struck down. I stayed in the prison.
So what about Liverpool?
Okay, sorry.
Liverpool, Nelson?
Okay, sorry, Colin.
We don't want it. We've all heard all about your prison years. What do you think of Liverpool FC nowadays?
Well,
and Brendan Rodgers.
I had the privilege of meeting the Liverpool first team with Roy Evans in 1996. They come to see me when I was held for 27 years.
We wanted it about the football.
Yes, well, it goes back to a long-standing affiliation I have with Liverpool. Before ANC, it was LFC. Right. Jockey, my friend, I've got many letters of you when I was in prison. But I have seen the best Liverpool players in the past. I've seen them all.
You like Nelson?
Sir Roger Hunt.
You're joking. What was he? Was he as good as they all say? All the old fellas say.
Well, Brendan, the picture was very grainy on the television at the time. But I've seen him play. He played in a black kit with a white ball, and it was a black and white television, actually.
All right. So, have you ever been to Anfield, Nelson?
Oh, that would be a dream of mine, Brendan, a dream of mine. I cannot get there at the minute. I'm very sick at the minute. I'm very sick. I was only speaking years ago to my good friend Stephen Biko, and we was talking...
Forget all that, okay. Go back to the footy.
Get back to the Nelson, you're from South Africa, but your family background, is there a little bit of Irish in it? Can you hear a little Irish twang there?
No, there's no Irish. Don't ever forget, the Spion Coupe is from South Africa. The Spion is from the Rainbow Nation. And my favourite player was Sean Dundee.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Nelson, your taxi's beeping there. Nice one for joining us, Nelson.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Brendan. And thank you, Tony, my friend. It's all right, Nelson. Come on, here's your taxi. Thank you, Tony. Good.
See you later, Nelson, lad. In a bit. Take a Nelson. Tony? Well, that was a big surprise, wasn't it? Anyway, thanks for joining us. How did you get him to come down?
Since he's got out, like, he knocks down now and again, but he's staying in his home there, the old pension his home at the top of the road, but not a lot of people.
Thanks, that was great, that's all.
Yeah, can I give my prediction now? Nelson burst in on me there, didn't he? I'm going to go for 3-0. Suarez, first goal.
Right, so there we go. Thanks for joining us from the boys. There'll also be a repeat on this in a couple of hours, so get that. And tomorrow before the game, it'll be repeated a couple of times. So thanks for joining us, and up the Reds.
Come on.